Hello and welcome, my screen name is Covert Muffin, and I'm going to be recording this submission video over a run I just did because I forgot to turn on my mic during the run. Whoops, rip. Anyways, this is Hyperlight Drifter, Alt Drifter, and I'm going to be doing no major glitches. So in no major glitches, we're not allowed to do out of bounds movement that you saw out of Munchak Koopas during the All Bosses run, as well as a list of other things that we won't necessarily get into right now. They're pretty subjective and very, very specific. With that being said, in this run, the Alt Drifter actually ends up having a lot shorter cooldowns compared to the New Game Plus Drifter, as well as a different primary attack. So it makes the movement in general a little bit faster paced, as well as ledge interactions and spacing very, very different. And so it makes the overall run very fascinating. But here we go, jumping into the replay itself. So with dash is going to be our primary form of movement optimization here, and when we dash, we can do it in sequences of 3, and then after you do 3 dashes with the slow dash chain, you end up having to wait for a small cooldown portion in order to pass before you can start dashing again. However, the primary attack also has this sequence to it. You can attack in sequences of 3 before resetting. Anyways, upcoming here is going to be the first arena, and in the first arena, we're going to be using a technique known as plinking, which is firing the pistol before the primary attack. This allows us to stack on 2 damage in attack instead of the 1 damage that the primary attack normally does. And then because the primary attack actually ends up refunding you energy or ammo for the gun, you can just plink indefinitely with the pistol, which is really, really awesome. So throughout this run, we're going to be collecting 12 of these little golden bits because every 4 bits forms a piece of currency, and then we're going to need 3 pieces of currency in order to purchase Chain Dash back in town. That being said, I mentioned that dashes are in groupings of 3. Well, if you dash up against a ledge like I do there, that actually resets the chain back to the first dash, and it allows me to extend the chain further because we're on the first dash, we can dash 2 more times before having to wait for that cooldown portion. This is going to be a really awesome optimization technique going through North, especially where we don't have chain dash to speed up our dashing. So here we go, here's another one. Nice, I got the full chain extension to get all the way through, I forgot about that. So in the Drifter, there's going to be certain cutscenes like that dog cutscene, as well as the pink Drifter cutscenes. However, there are no cough cutscenes for the Alt Drifter, as well as the 4th module cutscenes are not there. And so this is going to give us less downtime for the Alt Drifter and make it a little bit more faster pace of a run. Here we go, though, the first module. The basic gist of the game is we're going to be collecting 4 of these purple modules in each of the cardinal directions, as well as a pylon in each of the cardinal directions in order to open the final boss area from the main town. And so with this, we do north first because that's the fastest bit routing, as well as being the place that chain dash saves us the least amount of time. So because of this, it's much better to go north first. So here we go, upcoming here is going to be 2 arenas back-to-back with these birds, which is kind of scary because I'm only on 2 health. And then each of these birds deals 2 damage if an attack gets off. But we get 2 bits here, and then we're also going to get a key, because in East, normally in the glitch category, we can do some really awesome out-of-bounds movement. But we can't do that because it's no major glitches. So we have to get this key, and collecting this key and then going to that faster module behind the door actually saves time from going for a module that's more out of the way. Cool. Here we go, collecting this bit is going to play a little cutscene. I'm going to get my first piece of currency for dashing up here. I'm going to be collecting another bit here. It seems a little risky and scary, but basically just manipulating the AI of those birds, I can get them to just guarantee miss every single time, with very specific dash pacing and stuff. This is one of the more fascinating arenas because killing enemies off in a certain order, like killing that bird on the right, is going to cause that big guy to spawn a little bit faster. Then going through, because I know the timings and also the positions of every single enemy, I can end up having my distance be at very specific positions and then kill them off in the quickest possible fashion. So like there, because I dashed really high and then shot 2 pistol shots to kill the last enemy before the walls came down, allowing me to progress, I was able to dash a less number of times and save a bit of time in the process. That's really cool optimization. Here we go, another bit, and then we're going to be going into the next area. Whoops! So there's a little bit of a dash autocorrect that developers into to help casual players, but it actually ends up being the bane of existence for speedrunners. However, there's very specific positions where the dash autocorrect takes into effect, and so as long as I'm good enough, I can end up mitigating that. So here's another bit we're going to be collecting, and then going into this hallway is a little bit scary with 2 health, because there's lots of riflemen. There I took another damage, so this is going to be even scarier, because these 2 guys... Oh, okay, good, they missed. Oh, jeez, that's spooky. But here we are. We're going to collect another bit. I'm going to play it safe and kill that rifleman, instead of just going up to the bit and killing him from afar, just in case he shot me. And here's another module. Here, during this module, I'm actually opening up my map and queuing a teleportation out simultaneously. By doing this, I'm actually stacking the teleportation animation where he kind of like sits down and then beams out with collecting that module. And then after the module cutscene finishes, it allows me to teleport out. And this is not considered to be major glitch. Here we go, collecting the 3rd module. Excellent. Oh, I guess I can just say why. The reason why that's not a major glitch is because you can actually stack the animations of a lot of different things. And because of this, and we don't orchestrate that, like plinking is actually stacking of animations, stacking the pistol shot animation with attacking, as well as mid-dash activations and the like. We consider those to not be major glitches as well. But yeah, here we go. Coming down in this area, now that we're able to get past the 3-module door, we're going to be collecting our last couple of things in North before heading back to town to collect our chain dash upgrade. Whoops, there was a little bit. I went for a dash reset and I missed it because the ledge interactions on Alt Drifter are actually a lot less forgiving than they are on the normal Drifter. In a lot of places. Here we go, this is a scary arena because if I die here, I actually lose a significant amount of time, like 20 seconds or so. So there we go. I took 1 damage, so I'm going to have to collect a medkit, which is unfortunate. If I didn't take damage there, I wouldn't have had to collect an extra medkit. That being said, though, a really awesome optimization at the higher levels of the speedruns for this game is trying to collect as few medkits as possible throughout the duration of the run. And the reason for this is every time I collect a medkit, it actually ends up spending a 1.5 seconds in order to collect it. Then also activating a medkit costs time as well. But there we go. This medkit doesn't cost me time because I have to wait for that door to open anyways. Here we go. The first boss is going to be the most RNG-based boss. I don't remember what happens. So I missed a pathway manipulation there at the start, which is going to make this considerably harder. But here we go, plinking in groupings of 3, trying to move around. Oh, I got the top left teleport. And he teleports out instantaneously instead of doing a second action. So that was like really bad RNG, but I was able to kill him in the middle before he ended up teleporting out. You can actually kill him before that bird phase if you get him to go for a couple of extra cycles. And so that cost me a couple of seconds of time. So losing time there is like not a big deal. The most important thing is that I did not die there, because that of course is going to be the biggest time loss. Then collecting the pylon and the last 3 bits from the boss's corpse, we're going to be teleporting back to town and collecting chain dash. Boom, North is complete. Yes. So now the run's going to get really fascinating actually with the optimizations. And with chain dash, it's going to alter the dash mechanic entirely. We can still do the slow dash chains, but those are not optimal because with chain dash, I can actually dash in a faster cadence. So if I activate dash again, after the first dash, I can dash a little bit sooner. And so with this costs stamina, as you see in the top left corner of your screen. If I dash in sequences in chains of 3 or more dashes, and I hit a solid object, I actually end up bonking, which causes me to be stunned for about 2 seconds or so, and so that is a big time loss. However, if I dash in chains of 2, this actually does not happen. Also, the first dash of every single grouping does not cost stamina. So this makes dashing in sequences of 2 the most stamina efficient, right? So here, my stamina was completely out. But now riding this elevator is a small cutscene where my stamina is regenerating. So a lot of the optimization of the movement comes down to this stamina optimization, which is really fascinating for the speedrun and really difficult to do consistently. Especially with the alt drifter where dashing is very, very tight because it's at a higher rate. And so there's less of a window that you can make for that optimal dash setting and then go for the dash reset. Now they're auto-correcting dash, causing me to fall off and take damage. Thanks, Heart Machine. That's okay. And then coming up this elevator. So here I'm going to go for a full chain dash sequence, and then when you dash in groupings of 4 or more, you end up sliding at the end. But there I got a dash reset, which, if you remember, brings me back to dash number 1 in a chain. And because I am dashing in a grouping less than 4, less than 3, I don't have to worry about bonking or sliding at the end of the dash. So I mitigate those time losses, and I'm allowed to chain a ton of dashes there. But that's a very difficult trick and requires a really precise setup, which I'm comfortable with. Yeah, awesome. So coming up here, this big guy here is invulnerable as he's dashing forward. So I have to wait for him to stop. And then luckily he has 6 health, so that grouping of 3 primary attacks with plinks will end up killing him every single time. So here's a really difficult movement. And I got it first try. That's awesome. That's really, really difficult. Nice. Also, if an enemy hits you, you actually get stunned for a small portion, but they are not stunned. So you get an in-game time and real-time slowdown, but the enemies don't have the in-game time slowdown. So they actually end up shooting you a little bit sooner than what you would normally expect. So they can actually infinitely stun lock you to death. And this makes the lower health drifters, like Alt Drifter, New Game Plus Drifter, a lot scarier as you're going through the run. Here's just another arena. This is probably going to be a great place for donations when it happens. And then we're going to be going into like the next module, etc., etc. Yeah. Cool stuff. So coming up here is going to be the key door, which I collected that key in North. You remember I went out of my way for that. Because I cannot do some really cool out-of-bound movement because there's no major glitches. And that's okay, because I like having the added difficulty. Oh, okay, so I got stuck on that corpse there. Took a damage here, which makes this room really scary. This rifleman up left, he missed me. We're okay. He also took a little bit of extra time to hit me. That was good RNG. It allowed me to get to this module a little bit quicker. But this is another area where you can just get stun locked and just die instantaneously if you do not go fast enough through. So for new runners especially, this is probably one of the scariest rooms in the run. But because I'm just like so comfortable with this, this is completely fine. Yeah. There we go. So there I got what is known as a mid-dash activation. Just like with using the primary attack, I can actually plink into activating an elevator, but it's very difficult and very risky because, of course, if I miss the dash, I'm actually locked in the dash animation for over half a second. So because of this, the saving of, like, what is it, like 0.2 of a second for, like, the 1 second time loss if I miss it is really not worth it. And it's only a window of a couple of frames. Not only this, but it's like, it's not an exact plink, so it's not a 1-frame input, but it's, you have to, like, delay for a couple of frames and then do the mid-dash activation. So it's, like, stupidly difficult and risky. I love it. There we go. Going up here, this is a cool arena. I'm going to kill these two with plinks and then snipe that frog at a range, which was nice because I had a bit of pistol bias there, but the hitbox for those big pink frogs is a little bit larger, and so it's pretty forgiving. And it saves me stamina for this area. So here we go. Here's another arena where I'm taking a lot of damage, so that's okay because I'm full on medkits. I'm going to heal here for safety. It's a marathon, and a PB attempt I might not heal there. That makes this upcoming area extremely risky. So I'm going to kill that guy. I'm leaving this guy alive because this is just a switch activation to lower that wall. Those 3 frogs there can kill you, though. Then doing a full chain dash sequence to get through there a little bit quicker. Notice how my stamina is above half. This is where I want it. This is exactly where I want it. Because this next area, I'm going to want to spend dash in order to get to through all the enemies as quickly as possible. And sometimes I can get bad RNG with that plan and have to chain dash a little bit more in order to get to them. Nice. So upcoming here is pretty funny. When I did my casual playthrough, this is actually the boss I struggled with the most casually. However, in this speedrun, we're going to be doing some speed running strats to totally cheese our way through this one. Using plinking for the pistol to slow down the boss in-game. And then just standing in this one spot causes the boss to do melee attacks over and over again. And then is just going to allow me to take him out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy for breezy. Yeah, awesome. Coming up here, we have the pylon, and then we're going to be collecting the most powerful weapon in the game, which is like the sawed-off shotgun or whatever it's called, which deals 5 damage per attack, but it requires a ton more ammo than the pistol, so it's not as quite ammo efficient as the pistol is for plinking. However, if we swap our weapons back and forth, it also removes the cooldown of the shotgun, and therefore allows us to attack once again in the fastest plink period. So even though the shotgun has a cooldown, we can mitigate that by swapping weapons. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And we're going to see that at the West boss, which is not for a bit. But boom, we got through East, which is one of the scariest movement sections of the game, especially with the Alt Drifter, which has some sketchy ledge interactions, but I did a pretty good job mitigating most of the spaghetti. Yeah. Whoops! Blue frog bro, get in my way. So here in this section is actually really insanely precise. Because you can imagine that the dash distance is the same radius depending on what direction I'm aiming. However, if I'm angled slightly too far up, I end up going in the inoptimal direction and can mess up my footwork and positioning of where I land. So like right after I collect this module, I'm actually going to intentionally lose a little bit of time by dashing really far downward to try and line myself up perfectly with this platform. And there, you see how I was a little bit too far? So even there, it was not enough in order to land me perfectly on that elevator to activate it. And that's pretty cool. There's going to be a lot of those optimizations throughout the entire run. And here we go. This is another beautiful section for Jane Dash. I got a little stuck there on those pink trees, but really nice quick work in order to improvise in order to get out of them and get through that area a little bit quicker. Oh no, here's a little bit spaghetti. You're supposed to do slow dashes at the start to regenerate stamina. Oh, and I'm gonna get through? Okay, thank goodness. So that is a really scary portion where those dogs can just permadeath you once again just by stun locking you one at a time. But I was able to get through really, really quick. Upcoming here is going to be a really cool arena skip, and this is not considered a major glitch because the transition zone is going to extend a little bit further to the up and right, and this allows us to just walk right into the transition zone, even though we did not finish that arena. So that's really cool. Yeah, indie games. So coming up here, once again, I'm using chain dashes and sequences of 2 in order to not bonk into things, but also thinking about stamina efficiency, right? Because the first dash doesn't cost stamina, and then only having 1 dash per chain that does cost stamina is allowing me to do it in the most efficient pattern. And it saves the most amount of time because I can have this accelerated dashing period compared to if I run out of stamina and I'm stuck doing slow dashes while I wait for it to regenerate. Cool. That makes optimizing this game a real pleasure and a lot of fun. That's why I've really enjoyed pushing the no major glitches categories to their respective limits so far. Yeah. Primary attacking objects also refills a little bit of that ammo, and so I'm going to be plinking these crystals once because they have 3 health each, and then progressing through. Nice, that was a pretty good module. Just a little bit of spaghetti earlier on. So in West, it's going to be very scary in some upcoming areas just because things can deal a lot of damage to me and also stun lock me as I'm going to modules. This next section is a really good example of this. These dogs, if I end up not killing them all off due to RNG from those spikes, then they can cause me a lot of pain when I'm coming back after collecting this module. It's a really nice optimization that Isex, speedrunner named Isex, found, which was collecting this module. He used to do the glitched module, which you had to do a couple of arenas for, which was a huge time sink, and there was a good bit of RNG with it. But that one, you just dash to it and destroy some plants. Oh no. Stationary plants. Not like this. Revenge of the plant. So upcoming here, that big guy can box me out, but he didn't. I think... Yes! Okay, so upcoming here, I'm going to be regenerating stamina here intentionally in order to do an extremely difficult bit of movement that's risky. I'm also going to take the time to heal there. So here we go. Let's see if I get it. Oh, and I got it. So it's really easy to bonk there because I'm doing full chain dash sequences. The spikes deal 2 damage apiece, and then you can just fall off the ledge and die instantaneously because falling is a damage. You only have 3 max health in the run. And so that was really, really nice that I was able to get that. And going for that risky play actually saved a bit of time, which is awesome. Then coming up here is just going to be some nice straightaways, and then we're going to be going into West Boss. And West Boss does not actually have RNG attached to it. It is purely based on my ability to manipulate the AI and not take damage. Because once again, whenever I deal damage, whenever I take damage, it slows down time, in-game time for that respective party. So here we go. We're going to be using shotgun plinks to deal a ton of damage. Okay. Dashing out before that 2 damage attack. Knocks me down. There we go. And he's dead. Nice. That was pretty clean. I played that really safe. In a speedrun for like a PB or something, I might go for a riskier strat, sneak in some extra plinks there. Maybe tank a hit or two in order to get in 1 more plink before I have to dash away. But I just played it safe because it's a marathon. And of course, dying at bosses is going to be a very significant piece of time loss, because you can imagine the boss becomes at full health again, and maybe I have to open the boss door again if I miss that checkpoint to the boss. Here we go. This next section is Dogeland, one of the scariest in a PB. If I mess up a single dash input here or attack, I end up dying a horrible death. But I got it. I got those dogs stuck there on a bush that I left alive. And I'm going to be able to collect the module and teleport out really fast. That was insanely good. That is so good. I golded on this in my PB as well. So getting that quickly is just absolutely insane. Wow, dude. What a great West. That's pretty exciting. If I got that in a marathon, like that movement, that would be so awesome. But yeah, just like Dogeland, where if I died there, I would have lost a boatload of time. South is just, like, chock full of these locations. Like, oh yeah, I finally made it to South in a run. But South is, like, the most punishing area. There's multiple locations that if I just die, I lose 30 to 60 seconds. And it's very easy to die in these locations. There are a lot of high-risk, high-reward sections that I can save a lot of time, or I can lose a lot of time. And so for going for PBs and such, you definitely want to be going for these high-risk reward sections. Here we go. Here's the first one. I'm going to try and activate this pedestal. Oh no, I missed the pedestal! Oh, and I got hit, which cancels out the pedestal activation. So because of this, I'm just going to kill these last couple of enemies before activating the pedestal again. I'm going to heal here because those spiders can't get to me very easily. And then move on. So that's about like 10 seconds of time loss. Maybe a bit less. Here we go. I'm going to try and kill off these enemies quick enough in order to... Yes, I skipped a wave. Activating that pathway before the last wave spawned. I'm going to wait for this crusher because these crushers are insta-kill. And I wasn't sure what part of the cycle I was on because I actually got hit once during that arena. And spaghetti a couple of dashes there to get through the door. It's going to lose me a second. There we go, killing off that enemy. I got hit here. I'm at 1 health, so I'm going to play it very safe. I'm going to trick the AI into shooting one direction. And I'm going to kill him before he gets another shot off. Nice. Here we go, next boss. This boss can be scary if you do it too quickly. Oh, I got the bat! Oh, we're okay. Okay, that's good. So what ended up happening there was I accidentally killed a bunch of enemies with a shotgun. That I wanted to rely on to kill with my primary attack, but 2 were left alive, thankfully, so I was able to get ammo back in order to continue to shotgun plink. Yes! Alright. 2 scary spots down. Many, many more to go. And this is what makes No Major Glitches especially a really fascinating speedrun for me, especially, is that on keyboard and mouse, where we cannot actually do some of the out-of-bounds clips, losing us about 4 minutes over controller users, because of like one bindable function. It's really silly. No Major Glitches brings me access to a lot of these arenas, a lot of these areas, which end up being extremely scary because you can't skip them. You can't get out of them. And so going for PBs and stuff makes it a lot more tense for me. And here we go, a little bit of bad RNG because that guy walked forward. Luckily, he missed with the rocket launcher because I did a bit of AI manipulation, and then I was able to just plink him once with the shotgun to kill him. But here we go. Here is the next section that can be insanely scary. This checkpoint at this module is going to be the last checkpoint I get until the next module. And because I'm going to be doing a sequence break up ahead, I am going to put myself at risk for a death. So there I'm picking up a safety medkit, which I normally wouldn't get in a speedrun of this. But because it's a marathon performance, we want to play this extra safe. So here I'm a little bit low on ammo, so I'm going to spend the time to recollect that at that guy. Because there's not really going to be a good time before the next boss to get ammo back. There we go. There's the sequence break. Gets me to this pedestal a little bit quicker. And that saves a lot of time. And then here we go. The last arena before the boss. Those explosive barrels deal 2 damage, so if I mess up my positioning, boom, I get knocked down, take 2 damage, and then the enemy kills me. Or if one of the enemy gets an attack on me, I can get stun locked into death, etc., etc. But we got the module. We didn't have to worry about any of that. So I'm very glad that I didn't have to show off how punishing a lot of these huge deaths can be. But as I'm saying this, as I'm like talking up the hype, right? You're like, well, you seem to be doing fine. And that's true. I am very comfortable with this run. I have really good consistency with these fast times. And there we go. I got a micro ledge by attacking and then slowly whittling my way off of a ledge. And then dashing to that micro ledge with the exact distance apart is going to get me to that door a little bit quicker. That's a nice little few seconds of time save there. Here we go. In the South boss, it's going to be attacking in volleys and then running around the map. But as long as I keep her running around the outside of the map, I'm actually going to save time. And then after 3 attack patterns, she's going to move back to the center of the map before shooting up bombs, and that's where I like to finish her off with blinks. So that was a really clean boss fight. Definitely played that a little safe, but it got me the guaranteed quick kill in the single cycle, so that's really awesome. So here we go. We have collected 3 modules, killed the boss, collected the pylon, and now we're going to teleport back to the waypoint in South in order to collect our last waypoint. So I'm going to go for a very difficult trick that I actually discovered today. This is the day that I recorded this run as well as the commentary hereof. And it's going to be sitting after doing a chain dash sequence in order to cancel out the slide animation to be able to reduce the walk back time to the module in order to be able to teleport out sooner. But as it happens, I got a dash reset there, so I didn't have to worry about it anyway. And that dash reset's actually even more difficult in my old strat. So that's really awesome because I saved the time anyway. So that's really cool. Awesome. And there we go, saving a bit of time. And oh no, I lost time. I lost like 10 seconds in South. Nice. That's right, because of the first scary area. That's right, that's right, that's right. But here we go, going down into the final boss area. We're going to be closing out this run. So major shout out to the Hyperlight Drifter speedrunning community. I've done a lot of work for optimizing the No Major Glitches categories in all 3 of the drifters, and it's really awesome to see what I've been able to achieve in this. Definitely probably will push the sub 29 before GDQ if this run gets accepted, because my sum of best is approaching sub 28. But it's like a lot of RNG in order to get the sub 28. But anyways, also like donation places, this will probably be a good place to read the last volley of donations, because it's just going to be dash optimizations once again, and then the approach to the final boss. And then each of the 4 cardinal directions will have a lot of locations to read donations as well, which is awesome, because even though it's only a 30-minute run, there will be definitely a lot of time to sort of hype up the donations for the performance. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, here we go. The final boss has 3 phases. And I'm just going to be killing it before it starts attacking in each of those phases. So that's really cool. But here we go. As the boss spawns, I have to wait for the boss to become corporal before attacking. And there it is. And then it's just easy peasy shotgun plinking. And not messing up those weapon resets to reduce the cooldown of the shotgun. Whoops! Wasting a little ammo there, that's fine. Time's going to be coming up after I kill the final boss. I have a final dash sequence, and then when the screen fades to black, that'll be time. So here we go. Get ready on time, because I'm going to start dashing down now. And hard chain dash sequence. Time. 29:24. Not bad. 6 seconds out of PB is pretty good. I get this time pretty consistently as long as I don't take a death in the run. Deaths usually cost about 15 to 30 seconds. So that being said, that's why the estimate's probably going to be around like 32 to the 33 range. But I get like sub 30s almost every single run. It takes some pretty significant spaghetti for me not to get a sub 30 run, which is pretty awesome consistency for a world record. So that being said, thanks for checking this out. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see the lineup for GDQ. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your days.